Big baby Jamie looking for a mama. And I don't know how that works with these big baby boys. Because wouldn't a mother, age appropriate for Jamie would be a granny, right? Jamie's wanting a gran. He's wanting a mama. Poking at all the women on YouTube. Oh, for some reason, I wasn't able to make comments, but the link to the show is in the description. Let's see if this works now. I'm like having all kinds of... Oh, it's there. Oh, wow. Okay. I think I know why. I know why that happened now. You see, I have 3 thumbs down and no thumbs up. Somebody is crying. Jamie. Okay. Oh my gosh. I do have more important things to talk about, by the way. I just had to do that. I was inspired. That's how we grannies are. Technically, I'm not a gran, but I ain't your mama either, baby boy. No, I am not. None of us are. We all think you're gross. And that's about all I have to say. That's about all I have to say about the Aussie slob. I just bet he has really soft hands, though. You know? I'm not talking about due to moisturizing or any kind of treatment either. I'm talking about the dude don't know how to work. Doesn't have those manly calloused hands. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him as having anything manly about him. Uh-oh, my phone's dinging. Okay, so I can share screen and we can talk about some other things. I saw something very interesting, actually. Let's hope it works. And I'm not hacked or no death threats tonight, whatever. Okay. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. I I don't know why I'm on that, but oh wait. I better yeah. Okay, we're okay. Hey Taurus. Yes, good. There's something about those calloused hands, you know what I mean? You know your dude, when you shake his hand for the first time. It's like no, Jamie ain't got it. He ain't ever gonna have it. He's never had it. That's just how it goes when you go to picking on grannies. We'll just, hit you with the truth. Mm. Okay, so that's an older thing. That's back to the Moonies again. Trump endorsing the Moonies and with the whole outer space look thing. We don't want to go there again because that caused, many oh, my phone's a dinging and they're making me laugh. Okay, let me go to something like that I just saw. Let's get like serious. This. If we do a whole show about people, it just sucks. I mean, you can only say so much, the rest is pretty much obvious with that one. So this is a thread, and a Greek plane crash kills Netanyahu trial witness and wife, former Israeli Communications Ministry Deputy General Chaim Giron, a key witness in the corruption trial of Benjamin Netanyahu, and his wife have died after the plane he was flying crashed in Greece. Yeah, so I hope I can get to the thread. Darn it, it didn't bring me back. So here we can just do this way. Because I think I tweeted it. That's another story. Anyways, that we can look further at that crash or whatever, but I think things are probably just trickling out and they're just keeping it hush hush anyways. But that was one really serious witness there in the trial. We'll just do it this way. Okay. It was there. Greek media claim a technical fault is the most likely cause for the single-engine aircraft's disaster near the island of Samos, which didn't claim any other victims. Then this is Russian Times. I don't read Russian Times, but let's read the tweet. Giron gave evidence in the former prime minister's trial involving a multi-million-dollar communications contract Netanyahu allegedly illicitly facilitated in exchange for favorable media coverage. And what does that sound like to y'all? Favorable media coverage. That sounds like Shadowbox stuff, but I'm not saying that Shadowbox because the whole Shadowbox thing and all of these things, the deep marketing, there's many of them. Okay, so Everybody thinks they got a tiger by the toe there with Thomas, but it's a much bigger monster than than that. But it's kind of funny, but it's not, because nobody wants to see the broader picture. They're just like, we got one, But anyway, so that plane crash is pretty serious. Let me see what y'all are saying. Hey, Aiken, good to see you. Tag. Sometimes I don't even see the name. I'm thinking that's you, Tag. Hello. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, everybody. Because I was inspired to do this show. I wasn't even going to do a show. I've been working on this PC, actually. And I got inspired. Jamie inspired me. He's looking for a mama. He's into the baby's mama's drama. He's gone a step further, see. Some other things that I saved. Oh yeah, there's more Denise stuff, things that have been written about her. But let's go into something more interesting. This happened, I didn't get to it. Monday at 9 p.m. Oh yeah, airing an hour-long special, and this is going to be a series. No, this one isn't going to be a series. I'm sorry. I'm confused with something completely different. Okay, so here we go. Maricopa County. And there's been a lot of problems on YouTube with the Maricopa counties. What's up with Maricopa County has been the hub of so many things. The protests at the mosque, the John Ritzheimer, all of these strange happenings there. And Screwy Louie, wasn't he from Maricopa County? He's down further now, I know, but anyway, so let's look at this. It's the definitive account of how Phoenix Police and MCAO, I don't know what that is, Maricopa County attorneys, maybe something, I don't know, prosecutors invented a fake gang. Now, haven't we all been accused of being in a gang? So this is scary, because that's what these people are doing. Falsely classified protesters as members, then charged them with bogus felony crimes. Let's see if this will let me open it. And here it comes. And this was, let's see. So this is Phoenix, of course, and it came out yesterday, or no, a couple days ago on the 11th. But it was last updated just today on the 14th at 3:45 p.m. So, hey, this is up to date. For the past year, ABC 15's politically charged investigation, and that's a link. So this goes like even into further detail, and I'll be sure and get that link in the description box when I'm done, has exposed how the Phoenix Police Department and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office colluded at the highest levels to target protesters and used their power to silence, frame, and punish critics. It was a direct assault on a foundation of American democracy. The politically charged special report is the definitive account of how police and prosecutors created a false gang, falsely classified protesters as members, and then charged them with bogus felony crimes. Those cases are now a key focus in a sweeping Department of Justice pattern of practice investigation. So, making false reports in Maricopa County right now might not be such a good idea. Especially, if you've been involved in nefarious, illegal, crimes, cyber crimes, electronic means, the jargon. Anyway. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's a sweeping Department of Justice pattern of practice investigation. Basically, they're going to shake down the rats. Y'all know who you are. ABC 15's hour-long special is the culmination of more than 50 in-depth reports. Okay, so this is a series. So there's part 1, part 2, part 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is a long thing. And a lot of people went down for this. More than 30 officials from Phoenix PD and MCAO met to approve the strategy to pursue gang charges, including 3 police assistant chiefs and a county division chief. It was a coordinated effort. Let's see. The special airs recordings and documents that proved there was a coordinated effort between multiple Phoenix area departments and the FBI to gather intelligence on Black Lives Matter protesters. And so, when rights are being violated like that, it doesn't matter what side you're on. High-level executives resigned. 4 separate outside investigations were launched. They're done. I mean, this police taking sides politically. That TikTok song just comes to mind, oh, no, 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 no. We like our rights. Don't fuck with them. Let's see what y'all are doing. I'll just show my screen here. Oh, sorry to hear that, Taurus. Okay, just check and see if y'all had questions or whatever, because I really don't. Uh-oh. Hold on. I'm not an expert or anything on it. I just found the article. So, all right, let's go back. Oh. Let me go back to my screen. So there was that. I'm going to leave that up so I'll remember to go back and get the link. Oh, not the Moonies again, please. But I do have the Moonies still pulled up here. I never did go into more on the Moonies because, the danger level involved. But anyways, it is a cult-like church, and they wear crowns of bullets, and they worship with their AR-15s. There's a whole lot to say about them, and we have some that are here on YouTube. One in particular, and that's a story that's just kind of not going to go away for a while, because I don't see them. I mean, it's the Unification Church, and it's huge. I mean, it's huge. And like I said, I suspect it's very big in actually in the areas that are going to be very active, like in Nepali It's probably down into India now and everything else. And of course, here, I mean, I think that's going to be they've been in Pennsylvania, but now they bought all that land in Waco. So talk to this one about granny fluid, baby boy. See what she'll tell you. Oh, look, she's got, look at her gun. She's got tags on it. Zip ties. What are those zip ties for? What do you reckon? See right there? I don't know. But it's a strange crew. And they're here amongst us. But they love Jesus and they love their guns. So leave them be. Okay. What else do I have? Oh, Denise is doing a twerk now. Please, I don't want to play that. That's a clip for a whole other day. She's got something she calls the Wuhan twerk. She's twerking. She's twerking. I'm afraid she has COVID. And she's just not wanting to come out and say it. That's what I'm really afraid of. And I hope not. And I hope she's well. That's why I'm like, take it easy, you know? Speaking of Arizona, let me pull this up. I'll be right back. This is the town of Guadalupe, Arizona, and there's a big there's a lot of things that you don't know about the Lady of Guadalupe and Pancho Villa. If you're not aware of who Pancho Villa is, he's involved. And I'll guarantee you that man had some calloused hands. And as you know, she's worshipped. And it's really an interest. Over the years, many Hispanic families have also located in Guadalupe, and it has become a stopping point for Mexican immigrant workers. Catholic and Presbyterian missionaries also supported the community and helped secure land for a legal town site in 1914. And it's only been a town since 1975. But they have the traditional dances, and it would be something interesting, maybe if you're on a family trip or something, to go see and check out. Let's start from the beginning, because I believe they're Indians. Although Guadalupe did not incorporate until 1975, its history dates back to 1907. Guadalupe is home to three cultures, with one of those cultures being the Pascua Yaqui Indians. The Pascua Yaqui Indians have entered many turbulent times, beginning with the wars fought against the Spanish and Mexicans. The Yaquis were trying to protect the land that they lived on near the Yaqui River in Sonora, Mexico. Okay, so it was still Mexico at that time. When Porfirio Diaz defeated them, the Yaquis were sent down to the jungles of Yucatan. But during the Mexican Revolution, the Yaquis joined up with, isn't that something? They joined up with Pancho Villa. When Villa's army was defeated, the Yaquis headed to the United States for safety. Many of the Yaquis came up to the Salt River Valley to work on the construction of canals in the area. A community sprung up here where we became Guadalupe. And so over the years, many Hispanic families have also located in Guadalupe, and it's a stopping point, as we already said. Texas is this is Arizona, but Texas has a lot of interesting communities where the Indians, the Native American Indians, and other countries, like a lot in Texas is German. You'd be surprised how many Germans are in Texas, and then the Germans and the Mexicans formed really tight bonds as well as with the already Native Americans. And that's where you get that polka beat and everything. So anyways, just so you know, there's a lot of German festivals in Texas. A lot of people might not know that. And they also have their own brand of German. But let me go back and see. 4 thumbs down. That's so funny. Actually, what I have to do is I have to step away for just a quick second. And I'll just play that intro again, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm back, but don't let him fool you. He plays rugby, and he's a tough one. He's a tough guy, and don't let him fool you. Anyway, he does. They cry all the time. They cry about all of the women of YouTube's drama, and it's like, I don't know. I don't even talk about that dude. That dude is so gross. He's just so gross that, like, they're psychos out here, man. They like want you to talk about him and stuff. Jamie's probably does already. He's probably needs a diaper change at this very moment. But anyway, let's have a look, see what else I have here, and then I have some stuff I started reading. Let's see. Oh, good. Back there. No. Yes, here we are. I've been doing some reading on oh god. Denise's twerk. That's a whole, like I said, that's a whole other show. She's doing a twerk now. We already talked about that. Some more on Denise that I'm gathering it, but I'm afraid she has COVID. And so like, I'm just like, this is something I wanted to look into. Some massacres right here at the, in the United States, and some serious stuff that's gone down. I started like another channel for that though. So I have it in another, we can open it. Because I don't know if people are like, we just forget and wait for the next one. Sometimes it seems. Goes that dog. She's so mad at me. We've had a lot of massacres. This goes way back, but horrible, horrible things. Right here, this California genocide. We have the year. It was just within the state. Estimated that settlers took between 24,000 to 27,000 California Native Americans as forced laborers, including 4,000 to 7,000 children. Sorry about Biddy. She wants to go outside, but there's red ants out there. And I know she'll just go right over there into them. Poor thing. Anyways. Happy Land Fire arsonist. Look at all these nuts, man. And then we see what we see on YouTube and stuff. Speaking of some there's some really sick people. But anyway, we can only talk about what has happened. As far as the stupid crap on YouTube, it'll just keep it's never going to stop. It's like a soap opera. You can leave it alone and come back, and it's all going to pretty much be the same. Even uglier, until some laws are passed or whatever. And that's what they're all pushing for, and pushing the free speech. And really what it's coming down to is they only make themselves look like what they are. I mean, let the dogs bark. Anyways, this is like another whole show, but it really got me interested because of all of the, and then there were a lot of Mormon massacres, and they really went into here's German Texans killed by Confederate soldiers. Oh, look where it was, Nueces. Let's see. Massacre on the Nueces. A lot of Germans came in through the Gulf of Mexico. I'm pretty sure that they sailed like right up into there. And then of course a lot came from the north. But there was a very large German influx of immigrants that settled in Texas. And they had a really hard time again. And the Indians were also having a hard time. And they formed really strong alliances. And then, of course, with the Mexicans, because, Texas used to be Mexico. So it's a pretty interesting stuff here that we forget about, because we just kind of look at like the latest big one. But there's been a lot of stuff not to be so proud of, I guess. It's just so sad. Anyways, and the thing is, we need to progress. How, I don't know. Whatever. Just something to throw out there about the states always wanting to break away and everything, and how that's really being pushed. There's foreign interest in that, and as well as American greed. It's not about the cows, okay? It's not about the cows. It's not about the ranchers. It's about the minerals. And it'd be nice if some people could at least figure that much out. So anyway, I think a lot of people do now. Who knows? And some other things. This Band-Aid Marketing Corp. But I've been looking into that. There's a whole lot of stuff that I've been just looking into myself. That really, some things are. I don't know if you really want to go into them or not. Like I said, because they're just they're a small cog in a much bigger beast. I'm reading here. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, there's been the 9/11. Some of the 9/11. I guess there's a lot of redactions involved, but some of the 9/11 records that were unclassified on September 12th. I don't have that link here. I put it on my Sugar Tacos community tab. Yeah, here's a tweet about Fort Dix. The post 9/11 stings that targeted people who posed no threat. And some of them are still in prison. That I could go into that story, but it's very heartbreaking for me. And I just want to say that this has happened to my family. This could happen to anyone. And it happened to my family by people on YouTube who claim to be the victims, who continually make very serious accusations. And yeah. And then they want to, be considered proud Americans or something like that, or, like patriots and stuff. No. And then on the other side of their mouth, they'll say, as long as they come here legally, blah, 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 blah. No, ain't buying it. And as far as another channel who doesn't want to have a Nazi on ever again, is basically okay with hating Muslims, but don't hate the Jews, because he don't want that coming down on him. And all of the people in the chat had agreed to. I hate Muslims. Whatever. Well, good for you. It's your channel. You don't have to like anything you don't want to like. Then don't sit there and call other people bigots when you're a bigot yourself. You see how that works? Sure does. This was an interesting one. This is an interesting man I started following, and I guess him and Thomas hate each other or something. But anyway, I just watch it all. I try to just watch it and watch it unfold, because yeah, I don't believe anybody at this point. Anyways, this is a long thread and a very detailed just the picture alone. Let me open it up. About psychological warfare. And we can bounce off each other like a pinball game all day long. It was her. It was him. Rattle off the names like the crazy one does. Blue Chicken, Cindy Smith, Joey Brown. Blah. Or try to understand that it's a bigger monster than that. And pointing fingers at each other is how it works. And it is them themselves who keep rolling around in the pen. They can't get out. They try to claim they are, and then they're victims and everything else. But forget the atrocious, actually illegal acts that they've done, and they've just gotten away with it because it's such an overload, and the law doesn't know how to handle it yet. But they will one day, and even if not, I mean, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to keep letting those things bother me. I saw it again tonight. People bouncing off of each other, and they're caught in it, and they don't even realize they're pointing at each other, and it's not. They're in the pool. They're swimming around. They're swimming with the sharks, and that's where they want to be, and they can't get out. They're actually addicted to it. To the next, who's going to one up it? Yeah, I'm still waiting on my papers. They call the police, everything else. They all think they know something that everyone else must understand. And here's Neptune. They figured that there had to be another hidden planet out there. Okay, I remember I read this. So, like, it works kind of like this. When unusual demographics are being persuaded to support a particular political candidate, let alone one as odious as Donald Trump, we have reason to suspect something is afoot. People are being moved. When astronomers looked at the orbit of Uranus, for example, they noticed that it had a wobble, which wasn't explained by their existing models. They figured that there had to be another hidden planet out there whose gravity was making it move. So they looked, and sure enough, there was Neptune. Hence Jesus of Neptune. But I won't make this any harder than this obviously is for some people to understand. Anyways, so we're all in the middle of psychological warfare, and we do. You'll notice it's the people that have the bigger egos that are really struggling with it, because they, heaven forbid, they think they would ever be tricked about anything. And it's not new either. You'll remember Obama had that Acorn group and things like that. They've just stepped it up a notch, and it's involving everything that affects us on a personal level. And then people make YouTube videos and they get into it and they're going to go change the world, because really they've been manipulated and it's like that important to them. It's more important than, what they're feeding their family for breakfast, or their own health, um, anything else. It's just they live, eat, breathe it. I mean, their associates online are all, they're just constantly researching, because they're going to be the smart ones and find the answer that basically doesn't exist. And then you can find it and act self-righteous and do videos about it all day. I mean, even if you do find it and you can summarize it within an hour show, and ain't nobody going to believe you anyway. So there's time better spent. Good foods, family, fun, your community. Because they're counting on you to just stay online and keep getting it. It's just a vicious cycle. Oops, for a lot of you that don't understand that just want to keep throwing out names and talking about how self-righteous you are. Oh, here's Pazuzu for president. Hey, I'm sorry. How have you been waiting like for a long time?
Not for too long. I'm just working. So anyway, I was just sitting in the background, just trying to finish up for the day. So yeah, g'day everyone. Hi, Night Taco. How you doing, Princess Sugar Taco?
I'm I'm doing very good, and
cool.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying your interesting slant on news over the last few shows, and I've got some tidbits to drop if you're willing.
Yes, absolutely. Let me take my screen off here. Let me remove that, and then I'll wait for you.
We're the first one is actually a picture. We're not sure where it might lead, but we're actually we suspect this is Rockefeller, and this was all part of a look at Big Pharma and the origins of Big Pharma that we were doing with some friends, and we found this picture of Rockefeller's family, and as you can see, there's a very familiar face. There's one of the children there, and we don't know where that goes, but I'm sure it goes somewhere. If anybody knows anything about where the origin of this picture is, where it might lead to, we're concerned that there may actually be a COVID conspiracy story underpinning this. But there
that's
you have
definitely it. That's her right here.
It is. I'm pretty sure. A little bit more here, there, but the facial characteristics are undeniable, and I'm really starting to see the family resemblance there. So so where that might go, but this isn't where we're headed today. Where we're headed today is somewhere a little bit different. Just a bunch of little wee unrelated things. Like, do you guys remember way back during the all these little wee sort of like news articles? Donald Trump will beat any Democrat. This was on November 2018. Except maybe Tom Hanks or The Rock. Right? Says former
Tom Hanks was
Tom Hanks.
There was maybe a presidential bid was going to come from Tom Hanks.
Presidential bid, Tom Hanks. You see.
Wow, I never knew that.
Here's a really interesting. Tom Hanks accusations by Marvel actor Isaac Cappy from 2018. Here's you guys film gob. Really interesting one. I'll just zoom along, no audio, but you guys can go and have a look yourself, right? You'll see old Hanky Panky with Isaac Cappy, right? Okay. his claims. I'm sure you guys all remember that on Periscope if you are following that stuff, right? So all of a sudden, out of the blue, 2018, Mr. Hanks.
So they
He's
started messing
involved
with
in some
him.
Pizzagate stuff all of a sudden, right?
Yep.
Now, it just turns out, though, that he wasn't all that happy with running. As he decided that maybe I'm sure they were probably considering it. He probably will eventually run for president, I'd imagine. He'd get a high popular vote. But Michael Moore, if you remember, was actually pushing the guy at the same time, right? He put forward the idea, right? So,
Interesting.
and he says he doesn't believe he has the necessary experience. But this was actually seriously being touted as along with The Rock. They were looking for somebody with popular appeal, right? So I just found those two things really interesting. Now I'd like to. I know somewhere I've got a reference to this, but I'd really like somebody out there must. I'm so sure in the back of my mind, I remember watching a stream sometime in the past where somebody made note of Seth Green and Tom Hanks living in the same apartment complex. And I'm curious about that. If anyone remembers, because I go through my old screen captures, and my old notes, and I can't find that anywhere. But I'm
Seth
so
Green?
certain that rings a bell for me. That Tom Hanks was somehow in Seth. No, it's not Seth Rich. Seth Green.
That's what I'm asking. So I don't. Why does that name doesn't ring a bell?
Not
Seth Green.
Rich, Seth Green, right?
I don't.
So
That doesn't.
It doesn't.
No.
No.
Why am I getting an echo?
So Seth Green was the guy who Isaac Kepi accused of being originally, right? That he was a friend, that Isaac Kepi was a friend of Seth Green and his wife, that there was a falling out. And then he, after that falling out, decided to make claims about this guy. And it came, so I don't want to go into that, right? I think it was quite a brutal affair. But this was the first guy. This is the guy, Seth Green. He's known for such things as Seth Green, Star Wars detours. It's for people that don't know. So Star Wars detours with rather famous composers like Michael A. Levine doing the composition for Seth Green's Star Wars detours, which is an interesting coincidence. Let's go through some interesting screenshots that I got from a friend a long time ago, and if she wants, I'll name her in a subsequent show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. One of my bestest ever online friends. Okay, so
this is extremely interesting. Yes.
So here we have some conversations in April 2018 between the Stig. I'm sure you guys know who that is, right? And I'm not sure where these emails actually arrived from, right? There may have been drops, Defango drops. Remember, he was dropping everything, right? So here's 2018. No offense, Michael. No offense, but Michael and I, this is from the Stig, but Michael and I are the lead content creators, and I own my contract. I am not giving this up. Happy to work on joint puzzle stuff, but not going to fuck us. My deal, happy to have input. and help, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have a whole team I have to keep happy. Many you so great work. Michael and I shall keep our positions. T. Not sure. The Fango says to Thomas and Richard, who's another one on the Cicada 3301 copyright. I believe it could be another Richard. Let's see. I'd have to look at that. Could be somebody else. Not sure what this email is supposed to mean. Yes, it's very confusing, isn't it?
That is very confusing.
Not sure what this is supposed to mean. No offense, but Michael and I are lead content creators, as I own my contract, I'm not giving this up. Happy to work on joint puzzle. ... Not sure what this means.
Kind of like you work for me is what he's saying.
So
that's what it sounds like to me. That's
I don't
my
want
opinion.
to represent the order of things, so people, and there are some things missed out, okay, because it was a long email, set of emails. But here we go. Andrew is also copied. This is Sunday, April the 22nd. Okay, so Manny is CC'd and he is aware of the evangelical angle. He will be building out the website, which is all important. I will be in charge of developing an audience of evangelicals and helping you with messaging and topical input, reaction to news, events, etc. As far as the second $2,500 payment, you can actually get that to Manny.
Oh my.
Since the website will need all sorts of bells and whistles, when you get a chance, can you get us any contacts you already have regarding interfaith personas? Son, we do not cross any lines. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. So we don't cross any lines. I want you people to digest what I'm dropping here. Okay, this is not old drops. It's just that sometimes things get thrown up in front of you and you don't see them. Just take a time to digest this. Okay,
yeah.
Go back and watch it. Okay.
Yeah, how it unfolded.
Okay, so this is March 4. So this was previous. This was one of the early ones, right? And it should have gone earlier in the list. So go back and do your own working things out. I do not mean to misrepresent. Excellent, Zed. Perhaps we can send individual texts with tasks to perform. Please take this sound file, create a YouTube under an alt account and call it I Am Cicada. That way, we can have 50 people creating YouTubes. Think of Hercules and his labors. Then consider the big biblical idea of mustard seeds and how they spread. You guys are the people that spread the mustard seeds. Do you get it? Are you getting it yet? Blake wrecked the Mojave thing by throwing his own shit into the mix. Blah, 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 blah. My guess is that if we can respond individually and have people create tweets, YouTubes, DTubes, etc., it could be pretty creepy pastor meets rogue theatre. So there's stuff going on. Right?
Right.
Here we go. I will be in charge of developing an audience of evangelicals and helping you with messaging and topical input. Definitely. Can you get us any contacts you already have regarding interfaith personas? Can get now. This is very interesting, is it not?
It's like right there. I mean, it's right there.
Okay. Whatever is there is right there. Okay. And I I'm also going to I'm just going to throw something out there, but I'm not really going to explain it. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes and the Kybalion, right? The Emerald Tablet. I don't know why I would present the Emerald Tablet, but this is another one of these books, you see, that this is another one of these little directions that things seem to be going very early on. And you might remember some of the personalities way back in the beginning talking about the Kybalion a lot, right?
Yes.
Because this is all about Hermetic philosophy, right? Okay. I'm not going to go anywhere further than that, except to say,
didn't the Spear of Destiny kind of play along with that?
Well, yeah, but there's
I know.
there are a lot of people there are a lot of these people that are involved in the streaming space have an affinity for the Kybalion, and also, if you can say it properly, I can't, and are also heavily into Gnosticism, right? Even to the point of having like organizations with and websites with Gnostic in them. So the theory, right. So I'll just read that I'm not going to go any further with this. That's for later. QAnon, October 2017 was when the 4chan posts started. Okay. So this is, again, this is after. This isn't before. This is after all this. All of these events, right? But what I find interesting is that evangelicals, I will be developing an audience of evangelicals, not marketing evangelicals, not people evangelizing a marketing idea, right? Not salesmen.
Right.
I will be in charge of developing an audience of evangelicals, right? Now, anybody put your hand up if you know what the Stig is, who the Stig is, right? Just in case there's any illusions.
Yeah, that's Thomas.
Yeah. So this is and helping you with messaging and topical input, reaction to news, events, etc.
Yeah.
Can you get us any contacts you already have regarding interfaith personas?
And that's basically what the A858 emails are. They're all, it's all like, look at this one, look at that one, and using like useful idiots.
Just put that together in your head and try to work like regardless of the topic. Let's think about this for a moment, right?
Right.
Okay. So, okay. So this is from later on. Okay. This is about just over a month later in this in discussions. And this may actually be a separate topic. Okay.
Right.
Right. For those people who don't know who this guy Michael Levine is, I want to make it very clear. He seems like a really nice guy, by the way, from what I can see. And so I mean no disparaging thing to go to. Did I get rid of that? Hang on a second. No, that's the psychic dictatorship in America. Oh, that's for another show. Okay. Let's go. It is.
He's like over the Emmys or something as well, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get his exact title. No, it's not that guy. Don't you hate it when you get rid of a website? So this is a guy here, right?
Yeah.
Extremely talented man. Extremely talented. And currently actually in he's somebody really major in the Emmys, like the top guy, right? Or at least he was until recently. So here we go. Animated series featuring Seth Green, right? Again. So it's quite a big feather in his cap. And governorship. Levine served as the governor of the Television Academy Emmys Music Peer Group from 2013 to 2016. This is a big fella. He's incredibly talented, and also one of the holders of the Cicada 3301 copyright.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen a
I'm
picture of him.
whether that person
Yeah.
is this person. No offense, but Michael and I are the lead content creators. This is from April 18th, 2018. Or is that another Michael? Now, the thing is that what I expect now is to get barraged with emails or contacts now full of misdirection on this particular subject. I've had this before. One of the huge misdirections, which happened to me one time when I was actually in the audience in Hoax Wars, because I mentioned it a couple of times in LTV earlier that week. I put the name Michael A. Levine in LTV chat. And at this time, I had, of all people, come out of the woodwork during a Hoax Wars show and try to convince me that the guy on the shadow box, was not this guy, Michael Levine, right? But this other guy, Michael Levine. Is it going to come up? This guy here, right?
Oh my
the
God.
guy who wrote the book Deep Cover. I spent maybe 20, 30 minutes where a person by the name of Ghost Crab and another person by the name of, who was going by an account name that was Steve Outram's, but it could very well have been a sock, trying to convince me for about 20, 30 minutes that this was the Michael Levine.
Well, yeah.
That was the shadow box. Maybe.
Yeah, I did a show on Ghost Crab, also known as Jib Cam.
Yes.
I did a standalone video on that.
I'm pointing out that every time this person's name gets mentioned, right?
Right.
A lot of misdirection or alternative direction gets thrown into the book concerning this guy, right? So that's something that's I find really, really odd, and I just thought I would throw that out there. Okay.
Yeah, Ghost Crab. Yeah.
This guy for me doesn't feel to me like he's the kind of guy who I would call a lead content creator. But this guy would be a lead content creator.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that one. That Michael Levine. Yeah, I've seen him wearing a Cicada T-shirt. I have a picture of it.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of coincidental stuff that kind of points those directions, right? And you know what? There's nothing negative in. I mean, to me, viral marketing campaigns and I mean, whatever you may think of it, deceiving people and everything like this, right? These are standard practices in branding campaigns and marketing campaigns, and I don't hold any. It's not like I think that there's anything evil in underpinning a really, really clever branding and marketing campaigns, right? Okay. But the problem is that they're less effective if you sort of like pull them out from, if you pull away the veil, right? So I am wondering, right? I'm wondering about this. Okay. So it's just my thoughts for the day. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do find kind of like the hair on the back of my head, sort of like, I'm exaggerating, but this relationship, this Tom Hanks thing, the Tom Hanks thing, the presidential election, there was a lot of messaging about Tom Hanks polling better than Donald Trump at the time. I just think I do wonder, what might be going on. And over the last few years, you occasionally get the really unusual sort of pictures coming up, like
there's a lot. There's
who knows who that is?
Is that the Spy Whisperer?
No, that's not the Spy Whisperer. I'm not going to name that person.
But I know who Roger Stone is.
Yeah. Some people might know who that person is, and then again, people have, people make money, get associated with things. It's all good. Money's good, Another little interesting thing. This is probably the last thing for the day, because it's tea time. Do you remember there was a picture circulating? I've got the full picture. That's Frank Bacon. I've got the full picture somewhere. This was really interesting. Robert Steele, RE. I was Sasha Stone's science and tech lead in 2015. 2, Tyrone Simpson. Does anybody know who Sasha Stone is?
Yes, and as a matter of fact,
this is fascinating. This might not be true. I mean, Frank Baker. I mean, I'd also really like to know what order that gem is. It's fascinating. It looks like a Red Lodge thing, but because I was in York, right? I don't recognise this. Maybe it's an OTO thing. Maybe it's something to do with the Order Temple Orientis or the Golden Dawn or something like this in Denver, in Colorado.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because I believe that Frank Bacon was a member. So the thing is that I'd be interested in that, but I think that it's probably unrelated to this statement. It's just unusual. And I can't remember exactly where I pulled this off from, but Sasha Stone.
Yeah. A side note on Sasha Stone. Yes, a side note on him is that's the last interview Mike Emery did before he went to got busted with his bomb and his M2 fully automatic M2 Browning. But go ahead.
Sasha is the guy who founded the International Tribune for Natural Justice, the New Earth Project, the New Earth Festival, and his private resort. I don't know what this is, but this would be interesting for people to look at. The Acacia New Earth Haven. Sounds very, very culty to me, right?
Yeah.
Lead vocalist in of the, oh God, I can never say that word. Can you say that word?
Eponymously, yeah.
Titled Bandstone, right? So they, whatever. But this conscious living, everything like this, I'd be really interested to see what he's involved in. But look, Stone posits that humanity is ruled by elite hidden masters, which he refers to as the Illuminati. a Babylonian blood cult. The Luciferians, the Sabbateans. Now, there's something
Yeah.
under. There's something under the whole Sabbatean thing, but not necessarily that they rule humanity. Just that there's a real history under that. The thing is that Stone blamed the world's worst woes on Sabbatean Zionist luring Kabbalists behind the veil. Well, there is a real religion associated with Sabbateanism, and it still does exist today, right? And admittedly, I may myself be actually sympathetic to some of the stuff under that, but not to the extent these guys are. And
No, he's been mentioned in articles, and it's all coming out now.
but I'm going to point you to the Spy Whisperer. Iona Miller is an example of something really important. Warping historical truth or ignoring it completely and spinning compelling new myths of consensus reality. Right? And now we're going to get to the thing that I threw out there, knowing full well that some useful idiots, and I'm sorry there, Tacos, but I also made you a little bit of a useful idiot just a few days ago, and I will explain. But it was there to actually educate, and I'll explain in a second. It was just a simple little thing. But the thing is that you can. It's very easy. Do you remember when I said to you, "Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey"?
Yes.
Okay, and immediately before that, I associated that with baking.
Yes.
So it became about baking, didn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's bacon.
Right.
So by this simple little thing, by modifying the association of the word, right? You can actually change its meaning, its context, right?
Yeah, a lot of these people do that all the time.
I didn't want to go too far, but I could have actually thrown in lots of imagery and things like this, and then psychologically reinforced that. And after a while, you would have never known that was actually about bacon.
Right.
Right. It would have the phrase would have completely changed in the sentence. Okay.
Right.
And this is all part of Operation Mindfuck. Okay. These people are all about fucking with your brain.
And nobody.
This is and they're doing it because you need it. Okay.
I need it. Please be very specific, because some people really get
DIY mind control. DIY mind control.
Yes, and it's happening all the time. I mean, they have this down to a science, and why everybody wants to think that they don't fall for it, or they, whatever. It's like,
now, I'll explain the origin, because I'm absolutely certain that all of the people that have been talking about how horrible it is that I joked about Game 23, again, I think it's pretty obvious now, most people have come to believe that it was complete bullshit, right? Okay, who've just looked at the basic stuff. And I think that you'll see that this whole Operation Mindfuck relates to the Illuminatus trilogy written by Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Scheer. And what it's about is it's about blaming everything. 23 Enigma? The thing is that it's about creating, it's about a global plot, right, involving the Illuminati.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're taking on the New World Order.
And so what this is that this is to promote a global conspiracy theory. Just put all together, and mindfuck people into realizing just how bullshit it is, right? It's like Scientology. You pay out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you get to the final room, final meeting, and then they tell you that the big exercise was all bullshit. That's what I reckon, anyway.
Right.
And you've learned a lesson, right? You've learned a hard lesson, sucker.
Yeah,
right?
they're going down rabbit holes, and they think that this is,
Right?
it's like, don't go chasing rabbits, people.
Right?
Right.
But by then it's too late, of course, and you believe in Xenu.
Then they've already drunk the potion and they're 10 feet
That's
tall.
right. That's right. So they're not going to believe you, even if you tell them that it's shit. Okay?
No, they won't, because then they can't be. They've woven themselves. Yeah, okay. The rest of us know they weave themselves into the fabric of this.
Welcome to the
crap.
left-hand path. Welcome to the left-hand path. Do you know there's an organization called the Landmark Forum, right? Okay, which is broke out of EST. I always talk about that because it's my favorite one, because the guy who founded that, Werner Erhard, was one of Hubbard's right-hand men. And he did a thing called squirreling. They hate squirrels, the Scientologists. He took Scientologist technology and he reshaped it, and he turned it into Erhard seminar training. And Erhard seminar training, when a couple of people died because, hey, it's really when you bring up people's past trauma, sometimes unfortunately it's too much, and it can tip them over, right? And a few people died. And it went into disfavor, so they rebranded it Landmark Forum, modified it to make it a bit less extreme, but it still exists today. They inject it into organizations through human resource departments, typically. Now, the thing is that what people don't realize is that as the ones that get in it, the operation, the people that are holding those forums are the ones that are being worked on, right? They're the ones that are actually being worked on, is the people that are actually doing the forums, right? They'll get new members, but they have to keep the temperature of the room exactly within certain parameters and all these sorts of things, and it's extreme pressure on them, right? To conform to a psychology, right? So it's always the person, the magic practitioner, the person who's doing the working, right, is the person that the magic trick is working on. Okay, it's a psychological mind fuck. Okay, you eventually convince yourself that this is your reality, right? That magic, the magic, the demons that you conjure and expel, say, or the whatever, that is real, because eventually you'll come to believe it's real. The more effort that you put in, and this is what happens with all of these paths, right?
Yeah, and this has been done in other countries as well, and it's come to a point now of radicalization, in my opinion, in my experience. And then to want people to talk about their traumas, and come on the show and let's talk, like let's keep rolling in it. Anyways, that's my personal experience. But of course, this is such a all-encompassing situation, that internalizing it is only causing more trauma, in my opinion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. This is a scary time. We live on we live in a situation where it's difficult to keep up with the changes in technology. We hold little fondle slabs in our hands that we don't understand, or a very small percentage of the population understands anything to do with what's inside them, how they're made. They may as well be magic magic devices. And there's a few electronics wizards or IT wizards or software wizards that know the various bits, and then there's even fewer system architects,
Right.
like myself, that can put them together, right? And that's wizardry in a different way, okay? But you're stuck on that, and this is future shock. This is truly future shock. I've been at the top of my profession for many years, and I struggle to stand on the gradient that we've currently got. Right? So God help anybody else. You know, think of progression. What's actually happening as we move towards whatever the hell this thing is. I don't think it's, like the Big Bang. Then they discovered that the Big Bang was lots and lots of little bangs, and then it probably wasn't even a Big Bang at all, but it just looked like a bunch of Big Bangs, because space expanded, and time happened because it was creating space and time. Then you discover that maybe that point and that singularity point is not a point of singularity, but a million points of singularity, a billion points of singularity, as time and space collapse in this sort of dimension, right? But
that's the thing. That's the thing, is these people are weaving this into their realities.
Yeah.
And taking it on a personal level, which it is, don't get me wrong, but I can't even begin to explain it. I mean, we see it, people who watch it on YouTube, as being just an objective viewer, let's just say, to see people actually weaving themselves into a fabric of total bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Yes. And so that's why, and I've got a lot of flack from it, why I say that I don't believe in anything anymore. Okay? And
Right.
people see that as tragic, right? It's to me, it isn't tragic, right?
Right.
But I'm sure there are things that I still believe in, right? But I would definitely. It's unfortunate. There are some things that I guess you just can't get rid of, right? But I honestly can't see a lot of belief in anything holding up in the last decade, and definitely the belief in every time I see somebody actually with something trying to with the truth, holding the truth in their hands, whether it's something to do with COVID vaccine or something to do with the solution for COVID, or a virus, or a geopolitical sort of statement about what's going on, or I honestly don't think that Biden has a single fucking clue, just like Trump. I reckon that there's think tanks that are spitting out stuff based upon forward projections, a million meetings, estimates of everything from stock markets to look up Aladdin, look up BlackRock, look up Aladdin. There's not a single person who's using the Aladdin strong AI that basically controls the world's markets, right? There's not a single person who knows how that thing works, right? But it makes money for them. And you know what? All that shit came out of the same engineers' minds that are working in DARPA and doing doing strategy, war strategy and
Right.
long-term financial strategy, and anybody that you elect in a democracy, right, would be in a dog eat dog world, is going to be making statements and following blind directions on most things based upon shit that they can't even comprehend, and just winging
That's the
it as they
thing.
go. Okay. And why are they doing that? Because they'll lose if they don't. Because the other crowd in China or Russia or Britain, most likely Britain, is going to be doing exactly the same thing, right? And if you don't use the tools to the maximum ability, well, you're an idiot. So basically, you're all of us, when we get fed what these guys are doing, and oh no, he's old sleepy boy's wandering off again. Oh look,
But yeah,
he's whatever. It doesn't matter what he does, right? And you might feel embarrassed for what he represents. Oh, he's representing some waning of an empire that's got so much fucking money and so many military bases, right? And the control of basically renewed control of the petrodollar of petroleum resources, right? By
right.
establishing ISK, and don't believe for a moment that that isn't a construct, right? Just like the Mujahideen was a construct by Zbigniew Brzezinski, okay? What we've got here with ISK is another construct, comes straight out of US think tanks and in the State Department, okay?
Yeah, and it's
And
all over.
we're going to have control of the petroleum source of petroleum again, right? The dollar will be stabilized, right? And basically, I can remember during the GFC, do you know New Zealand was obliged to take an $8 billion loan, just like everybody else, to shore up the US dollar? Basically, the US government came to New Zealand and said, you're going to take this loan. We didn't need it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the kind of this is how it works. If everything goes down to zero, right? If everything goes down at the same rate, it can go forever.
Right.
Okay.
Um, right. And as far as all of these games and the new ways that wars are being fought right now, and a lot of them are psychological operations. Um, and that was actually my one of the whole reasons when I started on YouTube, was that I noticed that people in our country were becoming radicalized,
Yeah.
and that I was raised to think that, that we were civilized. I mean, that's something that we wanted for other countries, that we were able to keep our dignity, that we could treat others as equals. Those
Yeah.
were all things that were very important to me, like, that I thought that we're not anymore. And as you can see, just right here on YouTube, just what we see on YouTube, it's a very futile environment. I mean, this is getting law enforcement involved.
It's just a really
Um,
small pocket, just emulating, just echoing much
yeah,
bigger things.
yes,
But
and yeah, right,
go outside and 1,000 other pockets like this, even
right,
worse than the idiocy that goes on in this pocket. So you might as well hang around in it, because they're just going to be as bad everywhere else. And they've got people who are slipping through the YouTube's absolutely ridiculous AI net for atrocious activity, and everything's out of control. And eventually YouTube will give up, right? Eventually YouTube, and you know what that means? It does not mean freedom of speech. It means completely the opposite, right? That's it's an opposite world out there at the moment. In all of
well,
these places, people are struggling to actually that this organization's actually struggling to get rid of the people that are brutally doxing, that are brutal, that are just, what was it?
they can't they
Denise
can't keep
claimed
up.
the other day.
Right.
She just sat there and she claimed that that Jews in general were grooming, using gay traps, whatever the heck that means, to groom young boys.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's very
now,
sick.
what is that? How is that in any way like? Where does that sit? And there are going to be people in this pocket who agree with it, right?
Yeah, they run with a lot of things that are said by that one, and it's a
If you're a
nightmare.
company,
It's
I
out
know
there,
what I do, right?
right?
If
So
you own YouTube, what would you do? If somebody was on your platform and wearing a big YouTube hat saying, look at what they let me say, right?
right, and they can't keep up with it because
Of course,
basically,
that's going
like
to be protected, right?
when you're right, I believe when you're on YouTube's platform, you're basically you're partnered, and they tell you you need to go by our terms of service. And when I worked for an employer, I had to abide by a code of business conduct, and they're not upholding that, and it would be, it's, I don't know how they
Well,
possibly could fairly do that.
I'm 100% for free speech, but what I'm actually 100% for people being responsible for their free speech. In other words, I could say anything right now. There are lots of things I could say that I'm sure would get me in trouble with the New Zealand government, right?
Right.
Okay. The things I shouldn't say, probably about my neighbor, whatever. There are things that I could say right now that I shouldn't. Um, I should. I should be. I should have the right to say them. Absolutely, but I also should be held accountable for saying them as well. You know, these people on these channels are in anonymity, right? Are saying all sorts about crazy stuff that they would never say in the middle of the town square, right? They would never
Exactly.
have the guts to actually stand up and actually say it in the middle of the square,
But do
right?
they even exist in the town square anymore? This is their existence.
No,
It's
no,
who
they don't.
they've become. Some of them have actually, like, this is all they do. They live in this alternate reality.
And it kind of breaks the model, doesn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, even when they try to step into reality, they're bringing it with them. I mean, they're going to the hospital for breakdowns. Going to be
Yeah,
doing all of the, I mean, just on and on, the madness, making horrible, hideous videos. And
yeah,
again, bouncing off each other. They're mustard seeds. They're spreading. They're sprouting. They're popping up everywhere, and that's what they do. Um, it's the times we're living in. So the first, knowing is half the battle, and
yeah,
then it's choosing your own reality. And if that's the reality you want to keep rolling around in and desperately clawing at others to come back, come back and roll around in it with me, please. It's not
yeah.
healthy, in my opinion. uh
So we make light, like we do a bit of light poking fun at Denise, and we'll continue to do so, right? And it'll just get crazier and crazier and sillier because we refuse to take her seriously, right?
you can't, I don't
Okay, we
know those
refuse to take her
people.
seriously, and she's not going away. Okay, so what else do you do? Ignore, right?
You just roll with it. You just roll with
Let's
it,
roll
and you
with
have
it. It's perfectly valid, but um, it's not nearly as fun. Okay,
it's,
it's not nearly as fun. And so,
no.
I, so anybody out there with any, I would love to see someone come on your show next week, even in anonymity, even with a voice changer, right? Um, somebody needs to get on to this Rockefeller connection.
Oh, she's definitely connected to the
There's a
Rockefeller.
connection there, and somehow we're going to find breadcrumbs that lead to Fabio and the bird incident. I'm sure of it.
It all fits together, and now I think she's had many love interests and involved right up into the cicada. But I'm not going to name any names. Well, she did have a cholo. She had a cholo. Yeah.
Anyway, I've got to go to dinner. I'm already late.
Thank you for coming.
Fun, and I'm sure that's gonna get some attention. Cheerio.
Thanks. I'm going to play that outro again, which has absolutely nothing to do with They Can Drum or anybody else. I just had a fun time making it, and I'm just like tired of Jamie's crying.